Hi everyone, I'm Sabine, and today I'm going to be inking this drawing and talking to you guys about 5 tips for better character design. So, I've been working on my sketchbook challenge a lot lately, and it's going really well. If you're following me on social media, you're probably seeing some of the cool stuff I've done so far. I'll put links in the description below. I'm looking forward to making my first follow-up video, but I also wanted to try making some other art videos to show you how I actually draw and create things. Maybe I'll make some how-to videos or videos to give you guys tips and advice, which is what we're doing today. In this video, we're going to talk about character design while I ink this drawing of my character May. She's a character from a comic I'm working on called Wolfsbane. I'll tell you more about the comic and the design decisions I made while creating May as we go through the tips for character design. I'm using Pigma brush pens to ink this drawing, and I'm doing it on plain old bond paper. So let's get to it. Here are my 5 tips for better character design. Tip number 1. Consider how you're going to use the character. What kind of project are they going to be in? Are they for a comic, an animation, or to illustrate a story you wrote, or even just to use in a series of drawings? What universe do they come from, and should they have a certain style or look to them? Do they need to match other characters or a specific setting? And of course, are you going to have to draw them repeatedly? These are all things that might inform your decisions for how you create your character, and I think they're worth thinking about. A lot of people will say you need to think about their backstory, but I'm pretty sure you've already thought of that. But maybe you haven't thought about the technical side of what you need to make this character fit into your project. For example, May is the main character in a black and white short romance comic. I want her to look cute and kind of shy to fit the story I've written, but I also need her to be easy to draw because I will be drawing her a lot. And I want her to have a nice bold presence on the page as well, which is why I'm using the brush pen to give her nice bold lines, and I've given her dark hair as well. I think these things will really make her pop from the page. Tip number 2. Research your design. This is the information age, and there's a wealth of imagery out there right at your fingertips. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you have a concept, there are probably designs out there already that can inspire you and maybe help solve some of the problems you're having. I turned to manga and comics I have on my shelf already to see what other artists have done for the types of characters I wanted to create, and it really helped me. I had an idea in my head of what I wanted, but sometimes getting that onto paper can be difficult. So if you have an idea but aren't sure how to best represent that on the page, you can always look up reference to see how other people have handled it. You don't have to copy anyone. Your own style will probably come out on top anyway, but sometimes seeing how other people have handled a design can give you an idea for how to make it easier to translate the image you have in your head to the paper. Tip number 3. Try a bunch of different things. You never know what you're going to get when you brainstorm. It's important to keep trying new things. I had a pretty good idea what I wanted for my characters, but the more I tried different things, the more I was able to refine the final result. Because I was trying new things, I kept finding small changes that worked better than I had before until I arrived at the designs I was happy with. So don't be afraid to try something new or look up something similar to what you've already got and try it. You might like it better than your first idea. Tip number 4. Make your characters distinct, but also a part of the same universe. Now, I'm no stranger to same face syndrome. Once I pick a style, it's hard to get out of drawing the same lines for different faces. I know a popular solution is to go big and think of big shapes for different characters, and that can work really well depending on your style and what you're using them for. But sometimes that doesn't really fit with your style. But that's okay because there's a ton of small changes you can make to make your character distinct. In May's case, I changed the shape of her eyes and nose to make her different from the other main character in the story. Now, I'm not sure if I'm pulling this off very well and if they're going to look really distinct from one another, but I hope the subtle differences will make them look different enough, but also like they're part of the same world. I think height differences are also something that's easy to implement and will help keep your characters distinct from one another. Weight can also be really good, but you have to be careful because I think you have to be good at drawing different body types, otherwise, your characters might look out of proportion from one another. So, weight differences are a good idea, but it's just something you might want to watch out for if you go that route. It's also something that I want to get better at drawing personally, so it's something that I'm working on as well. Tip number 5: make sure you can reproduce your characters. A great way to do this is to make a character sheet for yourself. Draw your character from different angles and then use the sheet to practice. When I started designing the characters for my comic, I made this great drawing of May that I really loved, but then I had a hard time reproducing it for some reason. I had to break down all the little things to find out what it was that I liked so much, which meant that I had to draw her a lot over and over before the design finally sunk in and I was able to reproduce her in a way that I was happy with. So keep practicing and make sure that you can draw your characters repeatedly. So that's it for my 5 tips to better character design. Did I miss something that you think is important? Or did you find something new and useful in my tips and tricks? Please let me know in the comments below. We have a little bit of time left, and I said I'd talk about my comic, so let's do that. I really hope you guys are enjoying watching me draw. So, I used to draw comics a lot, and it's something that I've really been meaning to get back into, but it's kind of a daunting prospect. A lot of the ideas that I have are just these huge, epic stories that I would love to draw comics for, but I often get stuck because the projects are so big, and I just get overwhelmed and don't even know where to start. So the idea with Wolfsbane was that I was going to draw a short comic. It's going to be 32 pages, hopefully, and it's just going to be this little story, and it's something that I can complete. And hopefully I'll get momentum from that and really feel good about drawing comics again. And I'll be able to draw bigger projects in the future. That's the dream, anyway. I'd love to do more of this, but let's see if I can get Wolfsbane done first. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more art videos, then subscribe. To see more of my art, you can also follow me on social media, and I'll put the links in the description below. Thanks for watching.